We are now just 17 days away until the NFL regular season begins. Those starting quarterbacks starting to be locked in, including that guy right there, Gardner Minshew, for the Raiders. You can go ahead and call it Minshew Mania in Vegas. He will take the field week 1 on CBS, by the way, against Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Gardner Minshew getting the nod over Aiden O'Connell, who started 10 games last season as a rookie. Here's more from head coach Antonio Pierce on the decision.
A lot of things went into it. It wasn't based off of last night. There's a lot of factors. So we feel like Gardner gives us the best opportunity to get off to a fast start, and that's what we're going with. We support him. Our team's behind it. Our staff's behind it. Our organization's behind it. Yeah, experience, the operation, the processing, just everything we saw in practice. Some of it showed up in the games. A lot of stuff we can get better at. I don't think anything here is a finished product. But based off of where we want to go in the first quarter of the season, we feel like Gardner gives us the best opportunity.
Antonio Pierce saying it wasn't just last game, but a lot of decisions going into that. Let's welcome in our lead NFL insider for CBS, Jonathan Jones, 2-time Super Bowl champ with the Steelers, Bryant McFadden here. JJ, I'll start with you on Minshew getting named the starting position. I mean, behind the scenes, really, how much faith, does this team have in his capabilities?
That is a great question. And that is one that we certainly are going to find out, Amanda. Look, I went out to training camp and saw them in late July, and Antonio Pierce told me that he wasn't going to rush into a decision. They were going to play a few preseason games, and then he believed that the answer was going to become clear and apparent, not just to him, but to the rest of the team. I don't know that it became clear and apparent to everyone once we got to mid to late August where we are right now. Seemed kind of back and forth. And by back and forth, I mean no one seemed to truly rise to the occasion. I don't know that Gardner Minshew necessarily won this job so much as Aiden O'Connell didn't win it. It was, according to folks that I talked to, practice was fairly even. You know, a couple bad throws here or there from Aiden O'Connell when everyone was watching in a preseason game. And we see the numbers right there, and, you know, you can pick and choose. And we just heard from Antonio Pierce talking about it wasn't just one game, even though he made the decision after the second preseason game. In Aiden O'Connell, you have a guy who is fairly immobile, but is somewhat accurate with the football. In Gardner Minshew, and he has a bigger arm. In Gardner Minshew, you have a guy who can operate outside of the pocket a lot more. He is far more mobile. He's a veteran. He's a guy who's played in a number of systems, who has a kind of culture of personality that a team can kind of cling to. So fully understand why Antonio Pierce wanted to get this decision made so that you're not splitting reps as you go into late August, into early September. In week 1, everyone can rally around Gardner Minshew. But, B-Mac, if he's not the guy, I don't think the Raiders are going to have any issue pulling the plug and putting in AOC.
And that's why I have no faith in Gardner Minshew. I know Amanda asked the question, how much faith should the Raiders have in Gardner Minshew? I'm not a part of the team. I'm looking from the outside looking in. But when you look at Gardner Minshew as a starting quarterback, I mean, his overall record is 15-22. I don't think that warrants any faith when you talk about being the week 1 starter for the Raiders. And to your point, it was almost like you had two prize fighters that were super tired, and they just couldn't swing anymore when it came to this competition because no one actually won the battle. It was almost like, well, Gardner is the more experienced guy. He is more athletic. He can buy time. He can make things happen with his legs if nothing is available in the passing game. And guess what? Let's give him the opportunity to be the week 1 starter. But I wouldn't be surprised if they get off to a slow start. You potentially could see Aiden O'Connell in the lineup at some point in time, because one thing I do know for sure, either guy is not the quarterback for the future for this organization. Unfortunately, they have no other options. That's why we're talking about Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Because if they had any other option that is more consistent, that guy would have been the QB1 for the Raiders.
Strong take about the Raiders and their quarterback situation from B-Mac. So we'll go to your former team. You're not a part of the Raiders, but you were a part of the Steelers. And there's a lot of questions about the quarterback situation here. It has been between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Russell Wilson, when he finally got to see him this past weekend take the field, B-Mac, he could have put this conversation to rest. So we all know he's going to be there week 1. That's not exactly what happened. Mike Tomlin, I want to use his right words now, calling it an incomplete study on the quarterback competition. What do you make about what's going on in Pittsburgh?
Well, from what we've watched throughout preseason and watching the most recent preseason game, either guy didn't do anything to create separation, right? Russell got in the lineup. He started the preseason game. His offensive lineman didn't do him any favors. He was sacked, I think, 3 times, didn't really get things going. And, of course, in comes Justin Fields. And you felt like if Justin Fields really emerged and had a real good game this past weekend, he probably could have been in the catbird seat, but he didn't really do anything either. So that's why Mike Tomlin gave us the incomplete. And I think this final week will be very, very important in determining who will be the quarterback QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Atlanta Falcons. So, when you look at most veteran quarterbacks that are in a competition, like you've seen with other organizations, they've already solidified their QB1. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're waiting for one guy to take the baton and run with it. And hopefully we can see either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields run with the baton in the final week of the preseason to determine who will be the starting quarterback.
B-Mac, they wanted a competition between these two quarterbacks, right? Remember when they acquired Justin Fields and they said, no, hold on now, Russell Wilson's QB1. Well, they wanted a competition. They have one. It's just that neither one, to your point, is really rising up and really grabbing the bull by the horns. It's going to be interesting what the Pittsburgh Steelers ultimately do. You have a Justin Fields who obviously offers that more mobile factor. And it could be interesting because they just lost Jaylen Warren for some time with a hamstring. We're going to see if that goes into week 1, but maybe you want to add that speed element, right? But you also may want a veteran who can execute the offense. Just get the ball to the tight end and Pat Freiermuth, because we know that is what Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator there, wants to do. The thing that I think could help sway this in the direction of Russell Wilson, the veteran, is the fact that Nate Herbig has a torn rotator cuff that could keep him out for the rest of the season. Not having that veteran center, and if they have to go into week 1 with a rookie in Zach Frazier, I don't know that you want Justin Fields under center instead of Russell Wilson. So I think that could impact things where you just want the guy with a decade-plus experience and maybe not the guy who can give you those wow plays like Justin Fields, kind of no matter what happens over the next week.
But, JJ, let me ask you this. Getting Russell Wilson at the age he is, with the accolades that he have, even though we didn't see from him in Denver what we wanted, I mean, do you feel like no matter what he's going to be, I mean, is there any chance that they would have Justin Fields week 1?
Oh, I think so. I think there's absolutely a chance. Okay. I don't think there's any doubt that there's a chance. And I will just say this. If there were not a chance that it wouldn't be Justin Fields, this wouldn't be going on right now. We would not still be talking about it right now. The fact that we still are in a Mike Tomlin-led group is evidence that Justin Fields can still go out and win QB1.
It's going to be very fascinating to see what happens with B-Mac's Steelers in the next couple of weeks here. So we have a couple quarterback competitions going on. Pittsburgh, Denver, as I mentioned as well. Also, the Patriots. Here's more from Gerard Mayo.
Do you know who your starting quarterback will be? And if not, when do you want to lock that down?
No, we still don't know right now. We have another preseason game and then a week after that. When I know, I'll let you know.
With Drake, how do you balance following the development plan that you guys established against what's happening and reacting to what's going on?
I mean, we always have to be willing to, flexible in regards to the plan. Right now, it's all going the right way, right direction, and hopefully it continues to get better.
JJ, there's been a lot of praise in the media for Drake May. Could we see another rookie quarterback getting the start there in New England?
I would be, Amanda, very surprised if week 1 we see Drake May starting for the New England Patriots. And I would say that because that would go against everything that I've heard over the last couple of months and sort of the preparation for Drake May. Let's just be honest about the New England Patriots roster. It is bottom 5 in the NFL. They lack talent. Everybody understands that. They know that. And so who are the wide receivers? Well, they've been in the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes for a long time. They tried to get Calvin Ridley. They clearly understand that they don't have the receivers that they want to have. And so do you want to put your number 3 overall pick, and they could have gotten a king's ransom to give that pick up to someone, namely the New York Giants perhaps, to move down from 3, but they said, no, Drake is going to be our guy. Do you really want to potentially ruin him behind a poor offensive line, surrounded by a lack of talent in week 1 and in September and October, just because What? No, you probably want the veteran in Jacoby Brissett, who has shown time and again that no matter where he's at, he can keep the ship afloat. So in my mind, I think that there's really no doubt it's going to be Jacoby Brissett week 1.
B-Mac, really quickly, who do you want to start in New England? Not who do you think, who do you want?
For me, give me Jacoby Brissett, because if you look at the start for the New England Patriots, Cincinnati, Seattle, the Jets, San Francisco, you don't want to stunt your rookie's growth at that position in Drake May. And it's been a very, very small sample size in the preseason. We only saw, 2 drives or 1 drive week 1, and of course a few more opportunities in week 2. So I don't know if you want to throw him into that type of fire just yet. So to JJ's point, I would go with the more experienced guy in Jacoby Brissett, knowing that there's not a lot of talent on their offense. And I don't know if you want to put your young quarterback in that type of atmosphere to start out when you talk about facing off against 4 legit playoff caliber teams to start the season.
B-Mac, appreciate it. JJ, I don't know if I'm going to talk to you again, but I know you have a big weekend coming up. So congratulations in advance, and we'll talk to you soon. B-Mac, we'll talk to you as well.